Rob, it seems like our chair project has come a very long way since the last time we filmed. What am I missing here?
This is a test chair. So this is the chair that I made in my own shop as to teach myself and make all the mistakes here so I don't have to make them on camera in front of you guys. And to basically relearn this, because the last time I did it was 10 years ago.
So looking at that chair that you have, I see the front posts, which we've already made in a previous video, and I see all of those rungs that we made the last time. Now yours are much more refined. You've clearly worked on them more since we've been working. It seems to me that the really new thing in that chair is those back posts. Can you talk about those a little bit?
Yeah, this is, I think, the most unique and beautiful feature of this chair. These really elegant but very simple back posts that have this very gentle curve to them, and you'll see later on how that curve and the way that these mortises are done creates this really gentle sweep of the back slats. But the key features of this, the front up to this top rung, they're exactly the same as the front post. Then on the top part of it, from this rung to the very top, there's just really two features, which is three features, I guess. One is it's tapered from here where this curve starts to here. It's tapered this way, and then there's this sort of scalloped part right here, which creates this mule ear, is the term for this. And then once you create that, you bend it in a form, which we'll show you later. And that's what creates this nice, gentle sweep. But the fact that it's thinner from here to here helps you with the bending, because it's easier to bend this thinner part of the wood.
Great. So today, we're going to take the rear posts that we split out previously. We rived those out with the fro, so they're roughed out. We're going to shave those down, and we're going to do some of this tapering and shaping that you just talked about.
Yep.
And then in a future video, we're going to steam bend those posts, and then we can do the drilling and the mortising and get a frame that we can assemble like you have there. So we're getting there, but today we got to knock out those rear posts.
Exactly.
Rob, before we do any cutting, we need to do our layout, and we've already traced one line on that piece. What is that line?
So this line right here, so a couple things about how we set this up. One is we cut it to length, 34 inches, and then we put this carpenter's triangle on it, top, bottom, front face, okay? Because that's going to be important later. Then we put this line right here on it, and we brought it all the way around. And this is the line where the taper starts and where that scalloped part in the front starts. So that's going to be an important line for your layout. It comes from the chair stick, and you can check the book and to see what that measurement is.
And then we're going to mark the top now.
Oh, so now we're going to mark the top. And the top, what you want to do is you want to have a 1-inch U shape on the top, which is going to go, the open side of the U is towards the front, and it's going to go here, here, and here. We're just going to put that in with a marking gauge. You can see from the top here that the annular rings are going like this, and that the ray plane is going like that. And that also is important. That ray plane is going to tilt like that into the center of the chair when we're done with all this. So all I'm going to do, we know that this measurement is 1 3/8 inch square, and that we need a 1-inch U shape in here. So I'm just going to take 3/16. I set my marking gauge for 3/16. I'm going to score 3/16 on these three sides, and I should get a 1-inch square in the middle. So I'm just going to do that now. Take my marking gauge and bring it across.
And you're only marking on 3 sides here because we're going to
Correct.
leave one side the way it is.
Yes.
And taper the other 3.
Do not mark the front. The front is, we're going to mark that later, actually. Now that I've made the marks on the top and I have my started my taper mark, all I'm going to do is connect these marks on the sides. I'm not going to do it on the back because we're going to take material off the sides, and that would erase the mark on the back. So we'll remark that later. So I'm just going to go, I brought my mark around to the front face, and I'm going to go from 0 here to 3/16 here. And all I'm going to do is strike a nice dark pencil line right there. Nice and easy. And I'm going to do that on front and back, both sides. Lines are drawn, our board's all marked up. And what we're going to do is we're going to taper side and then the other side. And then we're going to go back and mark the back, because obviously if we put lines here for the back taper, those would come off as we're taking off putting in the taper for the sides. So key things to remember here are more thickness here. This is not a very thick cut. So what you don't want to do is start way up here and then drag the draw knife all the way, here, because you'll take off too much material. You want to start at the end and work your way gradually back. And then at the very end, you'll try to make a nice, smooth, controlled cut in one piece. So hopefully I can do all that. And I'm just going to gradually come back farther. And again, I'm being real gentle here, not super aggressive, because I'm not taking off a lot of material. Probably should be skewing this a little bit more, like that. So on this far side that you guys can't see right now, I'm there. And then I'll show you on this side. Again, I'm skewing my draw knife so I get a nice clean cut, and I'm to my line right here, and I'm just going to work my way back. And the other thing I'll tell you is I'm being a little more careful than I really need to. This is not an exact science. This is sculpture. So if you go over the line, don't worry about it. Be careful and, use this as an opportunity to teach yourself how to do really fine draw knife work. But, don't beat yourself up if you miss the line. Okay, so what I did so far is I took the corners off down to the line on both sides. So what this allows me to do is all I have to do now is draw knife so that this is flat. So I'm just going to take out this middle section. If you see it, that corner's off, that corner's off. I'm just going to take out this middle part. Okay. And in this case, I am going to pull it out towards me because I need ready access all the way up to this line. So I'm going to start at the end towards me, shave, and work my way back. Again, trying to skew my draw knife to get a nice clean cut.
Wow, that was a great cut.
So what you want to do at the very end is you want a nice clean cut from here all the way to here so you get a real gentle taper. So I'm going to try that one more time. See if I can. Okay. That's pretty good. I see a little bit of my line right here, but I'm not going to mess with it anymore. Again, this is not about perfection. It's sculpture. It's just about a nice, gentle, soft taper. And I'm going to clean this up a little bit here because I took a bit of a chunk out of the end. And that's it.
And so now what we're going to do is the exact same thing on two other faces.
We're going to do this side, then we're going to remark the back, and we're going to do the back. And all it is 3 of the exact same operation.
Rob, we've tapered this rear post. Now we're gonna scallop it. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's exactly the right term, but that's the term I'm going to use because it's, I don't know, I think most people understand what a scallop is.
All right. Hi, everyone. Nate, the editor here. So this couple of geniuses, they're woodworkers, not audio engineers. Right here, the mic is about to cut out. So I'm here to save the day and try and help explain what Rob is going to explain, but in a way that everyone can hear. Rob is explaining that scalloping the top end of this rear post means creating a curve that at the tip he has to get down to exactly 3/4 of an inch. Because as he is then going to suggestively demonstrate, the top end of that rear post then needs to fit into that little slot in the steam bending mold. And that will allow the piece to bend, creating the same bend that's in his finished piece that he brought. So he marks where the waist is going to be and then starts shaving out that curve. Once the scalloping is finished, the next step is to octagonalize the top of the rear post. This is all done so that when you get to the final step of rounding off the entire finished piece, you have a lot less material that you have to take off with the draw knife. He stresses that this is something you need to do carefully and conservatively, as you need to leave enough flat surface for the mortises of your slats to fit. So in this demonstration that he's doing, he takes off about 1/4 of an inch. He also points out that because the piece is tapered, the lines that he drew on the flat surface, they're going to be wider at the bottom than they are at the top because of that tapering. And now you know.
So Rob, we started the day with 2 square rear posts that had no shaping or anything, and I feel like we made a lot of headway. Can you just go over what we did to those rear posts?
Sure. So first we cut them to length, 34 inches. Then we tapered the top part of this. Then next we did this scalloping cut where we brought this to 3/4 of an inch and just have this nice gradual curve right here to form this mule ear. Then we octagonalized this part and this part. Then we went down to the bottom. We tapered the bottom just like these front posts here. And then we octagonalized the bottom part of it. So we took a lot of material off this and did a lot of shaping in a pretty short time.
Now, can you set that next to the finished one and just take us through how that halfway done piece relates to that finished piece?
Okay. So this piece here in the actual chair has obviously been steam bent, but you can see here's the curve right here. And then we're just going to bend this part back. And then the rest of it is going to be either round or tapered, just like this front post. So from this rung down, it's just like the front post. And from this rung up, it's different.
That's fantastic. So where are we going to go next? What's our next step?
Our next step is to steam bend this part of, we're going to steam bend the whole thing, but it's mostly going to be this upper portion to match this curve right here. And we have our jig, I think that we showed you earlier in the segment to do that. And then once that is bent, we're going to do our slat mortises in this flat spot right here. And right now it doesn't matter. We can switch out the posts either way. Once we put the slat mortises in, then we've established a right and a left side.
That's fantastic. So the next thing you and I are going to do is build the steam box. Yep. And so the next time everybody sees us, we're going to go to Home Depot. We're hopefully going to get PVC and really basic stuff that we can use to build a really simple steam box, because we have to steam bend those rear posts. Red oak is too brash. It's not going to bend without steaming first. Correct. White oak, apparently, you can bend when it's green, but not red. And so that's actually it for this installment. We did a good chunk of work. I'll just tell everybody, if you haven't built a Shavehorse yet, we've got complete plans for our simple English style Shavehorse that we've used throughout this entire build. And we're going to have more plans for you as this project goes on. Thanks so much for watching. We can't wait to see you next time.
Thanks a lot.